Hello.
Hey everyone.
How
I
are you?
wasn't sure if I was going to be in the shot there, so I was like, I'll smile at the camera anyway. But,
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah. Well, I kind of gave it away. We was in Deanne's live earlier, weren't we? And we was talking about something, and I was like, oh, which we haven't done. I was like, oh, I'll talk to you about it just before we go live. And then afterwards I thought, oh, well, that's kind of spoiled that surprise.
I don't think anybody picked up on it though. I didn't see anyone question it, so I just get my one shot.
Okay. Wow, there's almost 60 people here already as well. So I'm going to quickly say hello to everyone. So Rob, of course, first one in at 4:22. Stephen, we have Angela, Jamie, Gypsy, Jackie, Sandra, Ellie. We have Chris and Kristen Louise. Who else do we have? We have Isabel and Adam. Hi, Adam. Richard. Hi, Richard. And Jennifer. So I'm doing that thing that you talk about, Chris, when you're going through and there's a pause and you end up doing something like Raven Glands, Anne, Kim, Ken. Hi, Ken. Selkie. Hello, Selkie. And we have Diane, Neem, M.A., Tanji. Hello, Tanji. Celia, Mulamia, and Susie, Ness, Deanne. Hi, Deanne. Crystal Sparkles, Lisa, Patrice. Hi, Patrice. Alex is here. Hi, Alex. Sarah. Hexen. Hello, Hexen. Deste. Lena. Paper Moon. Zane. How you doing, Zane? Ishi. And could I have got to the bottom? Debbie. Almost. Jen. Hello, Jen. And I think
Taro Sachet as well. I can tell that it's Taro Sachet because she says, hi, Chris and Simon.
And Honey Chamomile. Not seen you before, so welcome. Sea Cat's here. And wow, this list is long today. Chantal's here as well. So nice to see everybody. How's everybody doing? It's Friday. We made it to the end of the week.
I know. Happy Friday, everyone.
So you've had this week off, haven't you, Chris? How has it been?
It's been good, yeah. It's been really good. We've enjoyed enjoyed ourselves as much as you can in this kind of present climate, I guess. We've been out a couple of walks. We went out a walk around the loch today. That was nice. We got a couple of takeaways. We're going to get another one tomorrow, and we also got our afternoon tea. So yeah, it's been a great week. Thanks.
You've got what for your tea?
I'm saying we got our afternoon tea on Wednesday. Oh, yeah. With the cakes, the sandwiches and the cakes, the stand thing.
Was that Wednesday?
Yeah. Yeah, it was lovely.
Was it nice?
Oh, so good. So good.
Oh, it sounds it. And what's how big's your loch, the one near you?
Good question. It takes me about 10 minutes to walk up to it and maybe 20 minutes to walk around it. So big enough that it's a decent enough walk, but it's not humongous or anything. Like it's quite it's the actual where it is. It's situated in a kind of, I don't know what I say, complex, but there's like other lochs about. So it's actually called the Seven Lochs. Something to do with 7 lochs. So Yeah, it's like just a kind of one small loch and amongst a
7,
bunch of them.
6 others.
Yeah.
Oh wow, wow. I wonder as well because the one and only time I've been to Scotland, which was to stay with Elaine, sometimes she's in chat. She was between 2 lochs, and this one loch that we went to really late at night. Oh, it was so magical because it was pitch black. There was no lights at all, and you could see a glow in the sky. And I can't remember if she said that was Glasgow or Edinburgh. I can't remember the direction, but it's kind of in between the two because Edinburgh and Glasgow are relatively close together, aren't they? But we walked around a loch in the day, and then we went to a different loch at night, and it was amazing because the moon was out and it was really calm, and the water on the loch was just like glass. It wasn't moving at all. It was really eerie. I've never seen that where it's just kind of like a sheet of glass. And even though it was November, it was a really nice night, and we just stood in the middle of the pitch black, looking out across this still loch, and we just stood and talked for about an hour, So I wonder if they're part of those 7 lochs, with them being quite close.
I doubt it. Although they are quite close, Glasgow and Edinburgh are pretty much the opposite sides of Scotland, but it just so happens to be where Scotland kind of gets narrower. That they are, do you know what I mean? So they are like Edinburgh is east and Glasgow is west, but it's when Scotland gets a wee bit skinny around the waist. That's where we both are, I think. So I doubt that it's the same thing. But yeah, I'm not sure.
So for those listening in, who are from probably other countries as well, what is a loch? Oh, sorry, because Elaine told me you had to say it like loch.
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 Yeah, although you'll probably catch me saying loch. In fact, Sandy is from a place called Lochwinnock, and he pronounces it Lochwinnock. I think it's just because he says it so fast, Lochwinnock. But a loch is exactly as Zane has just said. It's a lake. It's the Scottish word for lake. So it's just like a body of water, essentially.
Right.
The loch sounds nicer, I think, or maybe I'm just biased.
I'm just the way I went. Right, like I didn't know that. I was asking you to tell them, and I was like playing along. Right. I caught what I was doing there. Yeah, and Elaine told me I'd got it pronounced just right because every time I kept saying loch, she kept going loch. I was like, I'll get it. But yeah, and there's lots up there. Have you ever been to Loch Ness?
Not that I can remember. Loch Lomond is the one that I've been to, well, apart from that one, obviously, the one that I've been to the most. Loch Lomond is quite a common place to go for, if you're from my neck of the woods. It's beautiful, so it is. Sandy's plan was to propose to me on Loch Lomond.
Was it?
But yeah, but that plan failed miserably, and he ended up proposing to me in our old flat. But yeah, it was supposed to be on the bonny banks of Loch Lomond, so it was.
Is that because that's a special place to you guys, Loch Lomond, or?
It's just a really beautiful place. So it doesn't hold any sentimental value or anything like that. But well, I suppose it kind of does now, or it would have if the plan had went through. But yeah, no, it's just a really kind of lovely, peaceful place. So it is, and there's lots of like how you get like the wee stays away. What do you call it when you? What would you call it, the website you go onto, like booking.com and all that kind of thing? Like you get lots of nice kind of places at Loch Lomond where you can go and stay for the night.
Yeah, like oh, I know what you mean, and it's gone out my mind as well.
Like Groupon and like It Is On and all those kind of vouchery type things, they've all got
Yeah.
Loch Lomond stays, so they have if you're from around here. It's lovely.
So how come we ended up proposing in your old flat instead?
Oh
Is it a long
gosh. So it's kind of a long story, but I'll try and abbreviate it for you. So basically, the place, it was me that picked the place that we were staying, which will never happen again because it was an absolute dive. So it was. We went. It was only Airbnb. Malamir says, yeah, essentially, yeah, an Airbnb. That's the kind of idea.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were meant to be going, staying overnight. Sandy's plan was to kind of for us to go a walk and find a nice kind of place along the loch, and he would propose to me there. We got to the place we were staying. It was above a nightclub. There was a shared toilet. The toilet with the shower and that was shared between, I don't know, however many rooms. I have never known a place to have a shared toilet, like never known a hotel to have that. So we actually ended up not staying. We went for a walk and we tried to kind of just put it out our minds. And we kind of kept walking, and he kept taking me to all these places, and it was just like one was like an orienteering track, like in the woods or something. Like we just kept going to all these random places, and eventually we went back to the place we were staying. We had dinner because that was kind of paid for with the room. And then we both thought, you know what, we don't want to stay here. Like we would literally rather be in our own home than here. So we ended up going home. And he said to me, look, I was like kind of beating myself up. I was like, this would happen the one time that I picked the place. He was like, don't worry about it. Well, I've got a wee surprise for you. We'll do something nice. So we get home, we watch some telly and all that kind of thing. And then he says, oh, I've not given you your surprise yet. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. So he says, right, stand up and hold your hands out with your eyes closed. And I was like, oh, it's going to be like a nice bar of chocolate or something, like Galaxy Caramel. That's like my ideal chocolate. So I'm holding my hands out, expecting to feel this big slab of Galaxy Caramel going into my hands. And he was like, right, open your eyes. And he was down on one knee with my ring in his hand. But yeah, so yeah, it was still a really nice story. And like before we moved out of that flat, I took a wee picture of the spot that we were standing when he proposed and all that kind of thing. Because I'm a sentimental fool. But yeah, that's essentially how he ended up proposing in our flat. Yeah, but he made me cry. The tears just, I was like, okay. And I was like, you made me cry, you bastard. So I'm not really a crier, and I'm really not a crier at happy things, neither I am. Like, it's very, very rare that something will make me so happy that I'll cry. Like, I actually fully don't understand how that works, but yeah, he managed to do it.
You will when you get older. I was the same, but of age, tears flow more easily the older you get. Trust me. Elaine's here now. So hello, Elaine. I was just talking about you, and I was talking about locks. Sorry, locks, and how you told me to pronounce it. And I was talking about our night at Lily Loch, and how lovely it was, and how calm the water was, and everything. And here you are. So it's nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. I'm just looking to see if there's any comments, because I paused the chat at that bit just so I could remember to say hello to Elaine. People are saying, oh, Chris.
I can see Angela says, I am a crier. I cry over commercials and good food.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's funny you say that because the John Lewis Christmas advert, usually, like, I've got to be really tough when I watch that. Like, there's been years when it's been rubbish, but some years it's just like, right, we're going to be tough about this. I'm going to be very butch, and I'm not going to lose control. But yeah, Christmas adverts tend to do that to me.
And you're not a crier, he says.
I know. I know.
Oh, and Becca's here. Hello, Becca. When I proposed to my fiance, It was a surprise, and I filmed it. He gasped because he wasn't expecting it. Is that he wasn't expecting the proposal and the fact that you were going to film it, Gerald? I've never cried over food, said Kristen Louise. You haven't had good food then. It was a lovely night, Simon. It was, Elaine. It's burnt in my memory. You know, certain events in life are burnt into your memory and you never forget them. That night, that conversation where we just stood at one end of Lily Loch and the glow in the city. Oh, that was the question. Was that Edinburgh or Glasgow that you said when the city was like glowing? The sky was glowing from a city. And I know that loch in particular is between Edinburgh and Glasgow. But yeah. So anyway, have you got an iron brew?
Sure do. Always. Do you know what? I only have one can of iron brew a day. Like, I literally only have one a day, but I usually have it with my dinner, which is why it's normally on the go at QuaranStream time. So I don't, like, I must create this impression that I'm constantly just sitting guzzling can of iron brew after can of iron brew. I'm really not. It's one a day, honestly. I get a pack of 6 for the entire week.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So what's the day you don't have one?
I don't know. There must just be one day when I just kind of think that I'll leave it today.
When it be run out. Elaine said it was Edinburgh that was lighting up the sky. It makes sense because it's closer to them. And I think it was about half an hour on the train into Edinburgh from where Elaine lives. But beautiful part of the world. And myself and Giselle, Mad Witch Giselle, keep saying that we're going to hire a camper van and do a tour of Scotland because I want to go kind of. Is it the west coast? You go up and it's kind of like really scenic all the way up to like Inverness and everything. Is that right?
That's Loch Lomond. I see the scenicness. If I can coin a new word. That's Loch Lomond, sort of.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes, I said it's one of the coastlines that you follow up and you get like the really beautiful scenic. So
when I drove up to Inverness like a couple of years ago, so I did, because we stayed there as like a family getaway thing. And yeah, we drove along Loch Lomond and it's beautiful. It is a lovely, lovely drive, so it is. So yeah, that's probably what they're referring to, unless there's another. There's loads of lovely places in Scotland to kind of drive and stuff. So
yeah, I do want to see it. I think Becca thinks you're fed iron brew intravenously.
Have you seen Elle's message? I've just seen it pop up.
About proposing to a hamster?
Yeah.
She failed her marriage.
She ended up marrying a toy. My goodness. What age were you, Elle? Like 17?
No. Oh dear. That's too funny. So yeah, so I've got coffee. What's everybody else in the chat drinking? Have we all got a nice cuppa? Tammy Pie says, my super masculine husband is actually more of a crier than I am. Mostly I cry when I see animals getting hurt or country music makes me cry. Country music makes me cry, but it's probably for different reasons. They're all still on about crying. That was
sorry, that was my fault.
That's all right. Oh, this was the other week, says Elle. Oh, Richard popped his proposal to Peter in a Christmas cracker.
Oh wow, that's a whole new popping the question to a whole new level, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm crying because no one got down and proposed to me.
Who says that?
That was Spirit Healing Tarot. The Court of Elysium. Oh, hi, Justin. Good to see you. They're all still on about crying. Yeah, so have you got anything nice planned for the weekend before? Because you've got you have a long weekend, don't you? But you're back to work Tuesday. after your
Back
week
to
off?
work on Tuesday. Yeah, I don't have anything planned, to be honest with you. I think I think we're going to get another takeaway tomorrow. Like we actually haven't gotten takeaway in couple of months. But we've just went crazy this week. But it's all good. Do you know what I mean? It's our week off, and we wanted to enjoy it. So
Yeah.
so yeah, we're going to get another takeaway, but no other plans really. I mean, usually even like kind of driving to the Fort Shopping Centre and having a walk around, but we can't even do that just now. So there's not really much you can do.
So what's happening up in Scotland? Because obviously the Four Nations are doing things a little bit differently, and we kind of heard that Nicola Sturgeon in particular was opening things up quicker than we or that Boris was proposing to do in England. So
Yeah.
I know that already your schools have started to go back from last Monday, haven't they? Where ours isn't until the 8th, which is a week on Monday. So what's your time frame in terms of opening things up? Do you know?
Nope, I've no idea. I'm really not sure, to be honest with you. I, I understood that it was more or less kind of in line, but there was maybe some details that had been kind of moved about or some dates that were going to be different. But I don't know. I'm kind of just. It's not going to help me to look it all up and know what all the dates are because I'll forget them within the next 5 minutes, and then somebody will ask me, and I just need to look it up again. So I tend to kind of go with the flow and just if I need to know, then I'll look it up and I'll find out. But yeah, no, sorry. So I know I come across as being really ignorant and uninformed there, but yeah, I'm really not sure.
Not at all. Not at all. And perhaps half the things I've heard as well aren't reliable sources. But I know I've seen kind of online stuff where people have said, "Oh, why can't Boris, follow Nicola Sturgeon and not drag his heels and all this sort of stuff?" So and I know that your schools went back last Monday, straight after half term, and so I just wondered if, because like you say, there's not a lot you can do. You've had a week off, and your highlights really have been being able to get like takeaway meals, isn't it, or a walk around the loch, because you can't go to shopping centres or the cinema or the theatre or day trips out. So I just wondered if you was getting to a better position quicker than we are. But
Yeah, so we're like me and Sandy are really cautious. So we are because Sandy shoots. So we're kind of maybe a bit more careful than what we have to be anyway. So yeah, no, like it may well be that we can do more than what I think we can, but to be honest, we took the week off because we should have been married on Saturday past. I needed a rest. I feel like I never sleep, so I needed to just kind of chill out and recharge my batteries, and that's kind of what I've done. So it's been good. It's been a good wee week. So I
yeah,
has enjoyed it.
I'm glad you've been able to do that. And I didn't. All I did was take last Friday off. I just booked one day because, like you, I just needed that one day where I could not set the alarm. Because even at weekends, my alarm goes off and I get up at the same time. And I just wanted one day just to think I'm not doing anything, And I stayed in my like pajama bottoms and just did what I needed to do. So
Yeah.
it's good for the soul. Jamie says Stephen proposed to me on a mountainside.
Oh wow, that's very appropriate. Wandering mountain Bardic path.
Yeah, and Becca's offered Louis up to Marielle. So burnt in your memory, Jackie. Let's look and see if there's any comments because I'm a little bit behind now in the chat. So wow, can you believe it's gone 5-2 already?
I know. The time's pure flying by.
Yeah. So we could do quote of the day if we're ready to do quote of the day. Just have a last swig of my coffee.
I don't actually have a copy of the card for when you do the big reveal, but you have it. You have it there, don't you? That's fine. Just occurred to me there.
Yeah, I've got it. All right, guys. So our quote of the day. Did I say card of the day? Because now I've said quote of the day. I feel like that's quote of the day. Quote of the day. So let's take that off. Quote of the day. So, like last time, Chris and I, it's the one card, but we've each come up with a quote. We'll do it quick because if we show one and start talking about it, people are going to guess it before the second one comes up. I don't think today's too much of a stretch, really, to be honest. I think, people will get it quite quickly. So I'll show both quotes and then we'll each talk about why we've gone with that quote. I made some notes as well, which now, bear with a sec.
Gosh, well, I've not made any notes, so I look like a right heathen.
Guess what I've just done?
What, have you knocked up Nova? Have you done a Diane?
I've knocked over the deck that we're going to show. It's no longer in order. Maybe. Hold on a minute.
Hang on, let me get my stopwatch app on my phone and we'll time Simon putting the deck back in order. How does that sound?
Okay, I don't know we'll just have to, it's going to take a while, but I can't find my notes. Where have I put them? Oh, here we go. Oh no, that's not it.
All these people are still sitting poised with their fingers over their keyboards, like, quote of the day, quote of the day.
Can you entertain them for a second?
Oh gosh.
How can I use this?
Well, I'm not singing before we all start that, but yeah, how's everybody doing anyway? What is everybody's plans for the weekend? You've already get people guessing. Jennifer says Ace of Swords.
Right. Oh my goodness. I'm more worried now about the deck.
Don't worry about it, it'll be fine.
Right. So, quote of the day. Are we ready, guys? So, first quote is, sometimes things aren't clear right away. That's where you need to be patient and persevere and see where things lead. And then, Chris, yours?
Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be misunderstood. And Marie Curie.
Oh, wow, look at that. Debbie, straight in.
Right away, there you go.
Wow. So people were going with Hanged Man and the Moon. They seem to be quite popular. Seven of Cups, Seven of Pentacles. But yeah, it is the Moon. So here's the big reveal, as Chris called it, the Moon. But this is about, the reason why my quotes, I'll put my quote up and then Chris can talk about his. In times of anxiety in particular, our emotions and thoughts can become quite confused. Sometimes we just don't fully understand what's going on in our own lives, and it can be, as I say, quite confusing. But it's in those moments, really, that our greatest wisdom is knowing that we don't have to know right now, Sometimes we have to accept that not knowing is okay as well. And just like the Moon, really, that sort of that knowing and understanding, that clarity that comes has phases like the Moon. So it's about accepting that. Becca says, I actually got one. So, Chris, your thoughts?
So, mine is purely like, what do we see on the Moon? We see a figure, usually some sort of crustacean, and in the distance they see two dogs. They see a wild dog and a domestic dog. And the fear is absolutely crippling. So it is, it stops you in your tracks. You're in this Moon energy. The Moon is kind of like a very deceptive light. Do you know what I mean? It casts long shadows. I quite often describe them, when you're in Moon energy, it's kind of like being in the Twilight Zone. It's as if, everything's been kind of warped and turned upside down. And there's a tendency to let that fear control your actions. You know, there's a tendency to act very much out of fear. But the idea of the quote is it's saying, you know, it's the misunderstanding. Do you know what I mean? It's the not fully understanding what your eyes are seeing, and that's why when we see the moon come up, quite often the message is, you know, it's that connection to subconscious. You know, trust your instincts. Your eyes will lie to you. So will your subconscious. Do you know what I mean? Your subconscious will send you in front of a car to avoid an awkward conversation. So you need to be careful. There's a balancing act, but it's very much about fear and understanding and all that kind of stuff. So that was why I picked that quote.
Cool. And guess what? My deck's in order.
You sorted that.
That was a heart in my mouth moment. I was like, no. It's not the easiest of decks to put in order.
Yeah. Well, actually, do you know, is it in Simon order? And I'll put mine in Simon order.
Of course.
Right,
do you know
okay.
Simon order?
So I want to say, I know cups are first.
Yes.
Is it cups, wands, swords, pentacles?
Yes.
Is that? There you go.
Oh,
I'm
so transparent, aren't I?
No, it's because it's only one out from me. So it's wands, swords, cups, pentacles.
Oh, that's 2 out.
No, because you've just taken the cups and moved them. Sure.
Mine is cups, then wands, but yours is swords is the second one, isn't it?
Oh, right, okay, I see what you mean. So the way it works in my head is is what I've had to do is get my cup suit and move it to the front. So that's why I'm saying one out, because it's only one suit that I've had to move. But yeah, no, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So I've got the water and the fire together, and then the air and the earth.
Yeah. I'm surprised that you don't do the RWS order, the wands, cups, swords, pentacles. I was always really surprised when I found out you did that.
And I don't know why it is really. Jennifer Rebecca says wands, cups, swords, pentacles. Sarah does cups, wands, swords, pentacles like me. Sheila is swords, cups, wands, pentacles. I mean, everybody seems to do pentacles last, don't they?
Yeah.
So I'm in the countdown theme tune. I'll put in the deck in order. Do you know, I've put that many decks in order with the number of walkthroughs I've done, or throwback Thursdays, or deck of the day. I can do them really quick. Really quick. And if it's hard to US, I can do it within literally a minute.
Can you?
Jeez. Oh, I bet. Oh, I've set myself up for a challenge now. Guinness Book of Records.
Watch out for Simon's Tarathon session this year, guys. It's going to be a race to put a deck in order.
Throw it in the air, see how it lands, and then quickly put it back in order.
See, I think I'm pretty quick, but like I go, first of all, I've got to kind of sort them into like majors and then the 4 suits, and then I use the spaces in my fingers, ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, courts. That, do you know what I mean? That's how I do it, and then I kind of think and like move on to the next one.
You've given that a lot of thought, using the whole kind of system there.
Yeah, there you go. That's my secret. That's how I do it. But if you can do it within a minute, then I think that you must have a better system than me.
Yeah, actually, I'm probably exaggerating, because I think what I mean by a minute is I do that. I put them down. So if I all my, at majors, and then each of the suits. So from that point, I could do it in a minute, but not, just they would have to be at least in their groups.
Yeah.
In each of the suits, and then I could do it in probably less than a minute. It takes me 3 minutes to reorder a well shuffled deck. Oh, someone's guessed the deck. How's that? Have we just said something?
Don't know. Did I maybe hold it up actually? Because I was ordering my my thingy, so I've maybe held it up. Sorry if I've given the game away.
That's all right, don't matter. So the big reveal is, anyway, we're going to be looking at the Mary L tarot. So well done, Anne, for spotting it. Meow meow. Nice to see you, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly Bear.
How's your Friday? I have seen that you've glided me. I've not had chance because I've finished work and then come onto the live, but I will watch and glide you back shortly. So, yeah, Chris, it was about a week ago, wasn't it? You said, "Oh, shall we get together and perhaps do a kind of discussion about the Mary Owl?" What we have realised is, if we was to do a full walkthrough and discussion around the Mary Owl, we would be here a long time and not the allotted 20 minutes to do deck of the day. So it's just kind of just giving our impressions of each card, really. And am I right in thinking you're going to be doing something with the Mary Owl soon anyway, in terms of like a series or group or
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm just trying to decide what format it's going formats it's going to take. So yeah, I'm hoping to do some sort of all of us get together and get to know the Mary Owl a bit better, essentially.
Yeah. So also today Chris has got the first edition only, and so I'm going to show the second edition because there were a few cards, less than a handful really, of cards that have been changed. But there's actually been 4 versions of this deck. So I'll just show you this. In this little box here is my original version, which is the one that Chris has got. Did you trim yours, did you say, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah. So exactly the same as mine. This way back when I wasn't a deck modifier, so I paid to have mine done professionally to printers, and it's just like it would come off the a printer. And on this one, I used a silver marker pen and wrote my own titles on them, and I just used a 3 and a P for like the 3 of Pentacles, etc. So that's my first ever, and they are quite glossy. And then the second one that I got is in this beautiful Mary Owl box. This is my favorite Emperor card ever. I absolutely love that card, and this was made for me, which was a lovely gift. It's padded, and there's a secret little trapdoor, and behind that is let me just give you a sneak peek. People have seen it before anyway. You have to prise it open, but behind there is a very cheeky full card from another deck, the New Choice Tarot de Marseille. And then I had this lovely wrap sent to me with this gorgeous velvet.
Oh, wow.
And this is an untrimmed version of the first edition, but it was when they had the gold gilded, which wasn't out for long. I want to say probably less than 6 months, and then it disappeared. So if you did manage to get this one, hold on to it because it's sought after now. So, and then they released the Mary Owl second edition, which had slate grey edging on, but there was production problems with that deck. And when mine came, it had got a few scuffs along the bottom. Nothing that, it was a fault, and I told them. So I was told to keep that one, and they would replace it when the new deck was released, which is the one that I've just thrown everywhere and just put back in order. And this is with the silver gilding and borderless. And people talk about it being matte stock, and it is matte, but there is a sheen to it. It's not matte cardstock like New Choice Tarot de Marseille or something like that. So, or something like Bright Future Tarot. You can see that that's matte. This still has a sheen to it.
I hadn't realised that. I thought it was going to be like Shadowlands.
Oh no. And again, I think that's why some people were disappointed, because not only with some of the choices where, Kelly says satin cardstock maybe. There is you can just see, look, there's that shine, but it's not gloss. So yeah, I think how Kelly's described it as satin is probably the best way to describe it. So there will be a couple of card differences between the one that Chris shows and the one that I show. But just before we show it, just I suppose very quickly, overall thoughts of Marielle?
I think it's amazing. I think it's honestly, it's been a deck that I've learned so much from. So it is like, there's so many cards in it that even when I'm reading with a completely different deck, my mind still goes to the Marielle card. Six of Swords, for example, 5 of Pence, or just 2 examples I can think of right away off the top of my head. But it's just such a, I just love it. I love it.
Yeah. I think mine was a real journey. I mean, clearly I love it because I've got 4 versions of it. But, you know, at the risk of being repetitive, you know, when I first got it, I wasn't ready for it. And I was really put off by it. I just couldn't read with it. I tried to read the book and that made it even worse. So for a few months, it was up on trade sites. And for whatever reason, nobody ever took it. And then everything changed when I watched Elle from Sacred Seed talk about it. And I thought, I'm going to give it another go. And I just really connected with it. But I can't read it as an RWS, you know. And it's not an RWS. I don't know what your thoughts are where people are saying it's an illustrated Marseille. Because and apparently Marie White herself has said the best way to describe it in terms of following a system is to say it's an illustrated Marseille. But I just think it is what it is. And if it's an illustrated Marseille, then I'm very surprised by the card choices for the ones that have been switched, because some are very RWS, you know, like the High Priestess and the 3 of Swords, for example.
Yeah.
But,
so I don't think Marie White does say that. In the book, she says it's a melding together of, you know, Thoth, RWS, and Marseille. As far as I'm aware, she's never said it's an illustrated Marseille. It was Elle from Sacred Seed who has done 2 amazing videos on the minors, the Ace through 10 minors.
But she quotes Marie White as saying, and that's where I first heard it. So Elle from Sacred Seed says, if you ask Marie White, she will tell you that this is an illustrated Marseille.
But she's not quoting her. It's supposition. It's completely supposition on her part. So as if you watch the video again, I thought the exact same as you, so I did. But if you watch it back, it's her own. That's her own impression of it. But she's just so sure of how she feels about it that it is just an illustrated Marseille. That's what she says. She says, if you ask Marie White, she'll tell you this is an illustrated Marseille, 100%. But I don't think it's Marie White that's ever actually said that. Now, I could be totally wrong, and you know, someone correct me if I am, but I don't think that Marie White has ever said that. I think that it's very much it's its own beast, but it's more of a melding together of different systems.
And that's interesting because Marie White is somebody who is very communicative within the community as well. I can remember when I had my first cards, as I said, professionally trimmed, and I wrote on them, I put them onto Instagram, and Marie White was commenting, saying, great job, you know, and all this, and how she really wanted them. Her original idea was for this, you know, she wanted them about the borders and everything. So I just assumed when I heard Elle saying that had come from Marie White. So that's interesting. Okay, so we're already after 1:15.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not your fault. So our full card. So I find, and we spoke about this earlier, didn't we, Chris? Particularly when I was talking about the Hermit. For me, with the Marielle, the busier the cards, and I think this is just the way my brain works, the less they appeal to me. I like the cards that are, I don't know, have less going on in them. So, for instance, the 7 of Cups, not that I'm rushing ahead, but something like that, wow, really, it's really impactful. And the same with like the King of Wands and stuff like that.
Right.
The Fool, the Hermit. I don't know. I get it.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah. The Magician, I think, is amazing.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome, isn't he? And Simon, see what he's holding? Is that the multi-dimensional crystal lattice of consciousness that Scylla, Scylla's next based on?
Isn't it also known as something like Metatron's cube or something like that?
Yeah, right enough. Yeah, so maybe it is something different. But yeah, it kind of looks as though it's.
Yeah, I'm not that well versed in sacred geometry as much as some, but I know a few little bits, the flower of life and stuff like that. So High Priestess.
Yeah, so here's one that's different.
Yeah. So again, this is why illustrated Marseille, and then we get something that's very kind of a nod to RWS. I love it. I love that there's a lot of archetypes in this deck that are faceless and hooded, like the Magician, and there's quite a few cards as we'll see as we go through. But I love that sort of fire energy with inside.
Yeah. Do you prefer the second edition one?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Do you? Which do you prefer?
I prefer first edition every single day of the week. First edition.
I just love it. Of all the Switch cards.
Oh, well, we'll see as we go through. I might change my mind on some of them, but definitely with the High Priestess, 100% love the first edition one. Just that beast, I just love it.
Yeah, the Empress is stunning, isn't it? Yeah. Just everything you want in an Empress card. I love the little baby in the papoose, and yeah, it's really gorgeous.
Yeah, is that meant to be Marie?
Oh, is it?
Because I'm sure she illustrated this deck when she was either pregnant or she had just had her kid, or one of her kids. And I don't know, I might be making things up actually, so don't quote me on that, but I think this might be some sort of representation of her, but again, could be totally misremembering. Your favourite?
Enough said. Just look at the detail in this, even on the sword, it's just stunning, really beautiful.
Yeah.
And then we have the Hierophant, which again, I hated that first Hierophant. This nun.
Really?
Yeah. Do you like it?
It's not. I don't think this is a nun. I thought this is meant to be the Whore of Babylon.
Right. It's just that sort of garb. It just reminds me of something like Bells of St. Mary's.
Maybe. I just love what it represents. There's divine in all of us. It challenges the idea that divinity is something that's way up. I feel as I'm really repeating myself. I think I might have said this in my video that I did today, but it challenges this idea that divinity is something that's way up in the sky and that we can never reach. There's a bit of divinity in all of us. I think you can see divinity in everyday kind of acts of kindness and stuff. And I think that people that would have said that back in the day would have been called charlatans and whatever. And I think that's why anyway, sorry.
No, and I agree, but I think even those people who have a belief in a divinity will also believe and agree with you that the divine is also found within. Those who believe in a creator God believe that you're created in God's image. So, but anyway, that's for a different day. We have the lovers. Stunning.
So I had originally written the titles on my deck, the same as you, Simon.
Did you?
But I hated it, and I'll rub them off with baby wipes, and I love it now that it's just not getting any titles.
Yeah, I would have struggled in the early days when I did that and not to have titles on them. Yeah. I'd be like, what card's this again?
Well, putting it in order yesterday for this, in preparation for this, without any titles was a bit of a challenge without
without
the titles, but yeah, I got there. So I think that's the chariot, the 7. You know, we see the wolves, and that's what we see in the 7 of Wands and the 7 of Cups. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people are saying that we've kind of split opinions on the Hierophant card. There's some people saying really don't like the first one, others saying they don't mind it.
And I think that's why it was changed, because it made lots of people feel really uncomfortable, I think.
Do you want to do your impersonation of me, Chris? I never did
What's that coming out of his face? Simon glided me today, and he was like, I really don't like this hermit card. I was like, I love it. And he was like, are you shitting me? What is that coming out of his face?
Just, I don't know. It's just, you know, that expression, visual vomit. And then that's not to pull somebody's artwork, because there's no denying Marie White isn't a phenomenal artist. But I'm like, I mean, look, again, it's a hooded hermit, but I was like, what is that coming out of where his face would be?
It's his awesomeness, Simon. It cannot be contained. Just like yours, the hermit.
Lots of people love it, but yeah, fair enough. Lady Fortuna here, love it. Gorgeous. Yeah. And I wonder if, I mean, again, you know, key 11 is strength rather than 8. And maybe that's why it's a Marseille deck. But, you know, people could have said that about Thoth as well.
Yeah. It's funny that 11 is strength, because when you look at the 8 of Cups, it looks as though it should be related to the strength card. So, yeah. Well, sorry, I'm rushing ahead. Yeah, I always thought that was funny.
The Hangman, I always thought was a bit blurry, and I thought my original copy, I always wondered if there was a bit of a misprint, but it's not. But it does seem, I suppose it's a little bit kind of like impressionist art, but it always seemed a little bit out of focus. I don't know if yours is like that, but
yeah, I think it's easier once you know what you're looking for, but when you first glance at it, it's like, oh, what's happening?
Yeah. This death card, I mean, there's been some amazing death cards I've seen recently, and I've heard myself saying, wow, this is the best death card ever. But every time I see this image, I'm just blown away with it. And it used to be one of my favorite death cards ever. I think it's incredible. I mean, just look at the intensity. It's striking. That aging and decaying process.
Yeah. It's impactful, but it's non-threatening at the same time, which I think some death cards struggle with.
Yeah. This reminds me of The Life of Pi. Have you seen the film The Life of Pi? Where
I stopped partway through it because I just about shat myself, and I took the half and didn't want to watch it anymore, because there was like all of a sudden there was a tiger in the boat, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, nope.
You have to. The relationship between Pi and the tiger is incredible, but the end, nothing is what you think it is. Yeah. Honestly, it's one of those films that you get to the end and everything turns on its head, and you're like, whoa, I need to watch that again, because like Sixth Sense.
Like Sixth Sense. I was just going to say that, yeah.
I'm going to watch that again to see all the bits that I haven't seen. Same with The Life of Pi. But there is a scene where he finally gets the tiger out of the boat, and then it's splashing around trying to get back in, and he actually saves him. And that, it just reminds me, it's like straight out that scene. But and I've also got a copy of this image in my Midori. I love it.
Yeah.
The devil.
My lighting is awful. So it is. Like, it's just changing the colours of my cards. Like, my cards are pretty much the same colour as Simon's cards, but that looks like totally blue.
It does look blue, doesn't it?
It's weird.
What camera are you using?
The one on my monitor, the one on my PC, the one that I always use.
Mine's just on my built-in Mac when I'm on StreamYard.
Yeah.
The tower. Lots of people see Statue of Liberty there, don't they?
Yeah. How do you think it's subjective? Do you think it's not?
I think it's supposed to give that illusion. I don't know if it's actually Statue of Liberty, is it?
Right, okay.
Star. Gorgeous.
Yeah, the star's lovely.
The moon and the sun. I mean, what's your thoughts on the moon and the sun?
I love them. I really like them.
That's kind of shit. It's like that, isn't it? Like kind of too hot, really.
Yeah. Why? But like, do you not? Are you not a fan?
I like them like that, but when you see them kind of on their own in a spread, I don't know. I get why it's done like this, and I love them when they're together, but yeah, they're all right. I don't want to be critical. Judgment.
That's another one that's changed.
Yeah.
So I think they both have phoenixes, don't they?
Yeah, and I kind of think that I get the switching around of the others, but this is one where I kind of think I'm not quite sure why.
Is it maybe just the clarity? I think it's maybe a bit difficult to see what's going on because it's a red background and a red bird, whereas yours, they've kind of changed the background, eh?
Yeah, the bird's red still, but yeah, the background is these greeny blue colours, but
yeah.
So Ishi said the tower looks to me like a burning distance King of Swords. That's interesting. And then we have the world card.
It's beautiful, aren't you?
Yeah. So we're already at past and we've only done the majors.
Gosh. What are we like?
Shall we just go quickly through the minors?
Well, we say we'll go quickly, but we'll see what happens. Eh?
Yeah, we'll give it a go. For the three, well, we're at the two, so I'm looking ahead at the next card. I really love this three. I think it is so beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. This idea of coming from the same source and going back to the same source.
Yeah. But, you know, for that moment in between, three individuals, you know, all with their own power and greatness and beauty.
Yeah.
The fours, I think, are great. You know, if you put the fours together from each suit, just really represents the elements so well.
Yeah.
Stunning.
I love this card.
I do. Beautiful piece of art, just even on its own, isn't it?
Yeah.
6.
The sixes is another one that's pretty cool to look at them together and you know, read up on them together.
Yeah. 6 is what you was on about earlier, wasn't it?
I mentioned the 6 of Swords.
Yeah.
Raphael.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
This is the one that I was saying, it looks as though it should marry up with strength, but actually it marries up with justice.
Yeah. I so want to sit and talk about each of these cards.
I know.
It's like trying to hold back, isn't it?
Yeah.
10 of Cups is amazing. Look at that. Look, the 10 of Cups. Oh, beautiful. What are you chuckling at?
She's comment, she says, my other half just looked up and said, well, those two playing Snap. Oh, that made me proper Muttley laugh there, so it did. Oh.
beautiful page. I love how this Queen of Cups as well. You know how the pearls are kind of like being presented.
Yeah. There's this beautiful symmetry in her face as well that I really like.
Yeah. King of Cups in this one though looks really earthy to me.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's like just I don't know, it just seems really earthy with all the sort of the trees and the flowers and
he's in water.
Yeah, but look, if you look at it, when you first look at this image and you see all these kind of vines and flowers, it's like it's
waves of water, is it not?
Yeah, well, it would be the King of Cups, but when you look at it, it just seems that's what I'm saying. When you look at it, it looks really earthy.
Right, okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Ace of Wands. Oh, are you on? You've gone the Wands way, have you? You didn't have to. I could have switched.
It's fine. I love this.
Yeah, I do.
I love this Two of Wands.
What do you like about it so much?
I don't know. It's eerie, but it's powerful at the same time. I just love how it's the kind of two trees making the portal. I always, whenever like Ashley and people that I Zoom with on a Sunday will know that Two of Wands for me is building your portal, setting your intentions, and planning the journey ahead. And that those two trees just make the portal, so they do.
And it's not just the tree people here, but look at all the others that's there as well. Like
yeah,
there, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
really is a lot of detail with these cards. Yeah, that's a good point. As she said, I agree, it looks earthy, but then I thought of the muddy water where the lotus flower grow. Yeah, the deeper and dirtier the mud, the more beautiful the lotus blooms.
This is like a nod to the gods giving fire to the humans, and they lit the treetops on fire, didn't they? So the humans could climb up and get fire from the treetops. Is that right?
Bye, Emily. One of my least favorite cards, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's using his energy to negotiate the dense forest. That's how I see it. That's how I kind of marry it up to the Five of Wands.
It's almost like a Superman type.
Yeah.
Like 6. The ones with the weird stomachs are up to me. Look, again, you see something really simple and close up like these. I just love. Yeah, exactly.
So you can look at them side by side.
Yeah.
Yes. Really nice.
I like the way though that she's really stuck with the elemental energies through each of the suits.
I quite like when you look at the 8 and the 9 together. And the 8, it's like the human is the kind of the more corporeal figure, and the lion is almost ethereal. And then in this one, the tiger's like the focus, So
that's what Chris is talking about.
Sorry, yeah.
10.
So the 4 10s are like the 4 horsemen, aren't they?
Chantal just can't make up her mind about this deck. Do I or don't I? It does. Well, again, I can't talk for everybody. I can only talk from my own personal experience, but it took me a while But once something clicks, I think it just becomes a really important deck and one that's an important part of your collection.
Yeah.
But for some people, it doesn't click, does it? You know?
That's true.
Oh, Sheila says she should rehome hers because she doesn't like to use it. Knight of Wands. I adore this Queen of Wands. Well, I adore both the Queen and the King in this deck, but I love that she's a fuller figured, beautiful, and this little cub.
Yeah, and she doesn't. She's proud of herself. She's got all that confidence. You know, she doesn't give a fuck what people think she looks like. Sorry, swearing.
No.
But yeah, she doesn't care what people think about her.
Her face is incredible as well.
Yeah.
Powerful. Yeah.
King's quite an eerie figure, isn't he?
Yeah, it's quite intense. Wow. Corvin says, I love that card so much. And Sandra loves that card too. And then we have swords. So our air suit. So we've got this beautiful eagle.
I always thought it was weird how the eagle's supposed to represent Scorpio, which is a water sign.
Yeah.
And yet it's in this. Yeah, I never got that, but
beautiful. Is that I suppose that's a dragonfly, isn't it?
I think locust, is it not?
Is it a locust?
I think so.
Wow. And then we've got a switch.
Your thoughts can be like a plague of locusts.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a different one, isn't it?
Yeah. I think people complained about the original one, didn't they? Like the sort of, yeah. So then again, we've gone to more of a kind of RWS style with the 3 swords through a heart and these beautiful roses around it, though. I think they're gorgeous. Lots of people, I remember when this deck was released, lots of people took umbrage at this one, I think more than any.
Right.
But I guess, you know, one of the complaints, and I can understand it, I don't understand why they didn't release them with both, you know, just a set of additional cards so that people could then choose, you know, if they've already got a connection with the first edition and they wanted a borderless, more mapped card stock, they could have still kept their cards, or those that wanted to switch could. Here again, we've got that, you know, how I said the 4s were lovely together. We've got the air one here. This reminds me of where I grew up. We grew up in this little village, and across the fields was a power station. And I used to sit on my bed sometimes and just look across and see these towers, you know, pummeling out this steam. 5 of Swords.
I love this. Athena, Narrows.
But
I love the fact that you don't see someone, you know, defeated. You know, look, I say that with such contempt, but I just love that you see something different. You see a representation of actually using your brain, using your mind to negotiate those difficulties, which is just, well, I love it.
What do you think the significance of the baby is?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. Yeah, I don't know. I would need to look it up, to be honest with you. I don't normally see the baby when I look at it. I see her face and I see the owls.
That's why I wondered why that, because you're not automatically drawn to the baby, are you? Even though it is pretty much central. There's a lot happening in the top.
This is potentially my favourite card in the deck.
Is it? Why is that?
I just love what it represents. Raphael's guiding, like it's depicted as different figures, but it's the different aspects of the self. You know, I think it's the child self and the animal self.
Yeah.
and it's kind of guiding them, and that's essentially what the Six of Swords is. You know, it's like some people like to kind of colloquially call it the go-to therapy card, but it's the kind of it's finding that harmony and that balance in your mind. You know, it is the alignment of the different aspects of the self. So I think it's beautiful. Sorry.
No apologies. Oh, this is a beautiful card, isn't it? The 8.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen this card recently somewhere. Somebody was talking about this card very recently. I can't think why now or where, but it might even just been shown in the Hermit's Cave. Certainly in the last like 24 hours, I've seen somebody commenting on this card.
Right.
Tammy Pie said it's about embracing yourself as brand new. That's the baby. You know, the
Right, okay.
10 of Swords. Epic. Love it.
I love this. The dragon tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Another owl. And the Queen.
This is amazing. Odin's Ravens.
Yeah. And the King. Tammy Pie's book, Falling in Love Again. Okay, the final suit then is our discs. 2 of discs, which is really interesting, isn't it? Because this reminds me of somebody who's dead, you know, with the coins over the eyes.
Yeah, I think it's an old Greek tradition, isn't it? Is that right?
Yeah.
Is it Greek where they put coins in the eyes of the dead?
But they used to do it here as well. You know, if you see the old Charles Dickens type films and programs where they put coins on their eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it probably stems from ancient Greece. Again, the 4s. I could have the artwork for the 4s lined up in like a beautiful, you get those picture frames with like 4 cutouts.
Yeah.
To represent the elements. It's just stunning.
Yeah.
This is another image that's in my journal. I love this.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's another one it's kind of like the 5 of Swords. It takes what's usually quite a negative card and it kind of makes you think, do you know, it doesn't always have to be such a negative message.
Yeah.
It's how we deal with the change in the 5 that makes it positive or negative.
What's that? Touring times and before. Yeah, they did it here. Yeah. What about the coins? I love the 7 of discs. These kind of witches' runes and
yeah. Took me ages to see that as like footsteps, like a foot stepping and creating all this energy.
that's the thing with her art though, isn't it? It's just like you could just stare at the images and then it's almost like those in some, those magic eye 3D pictures and suddenly you see a picture with some clarity.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this with the lamb in the middle.
Yeah. And this is what we see on the box, isn't it? Or half of it. This is half of what we see on the box. What we do it the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Nine. Yeah, people are seeing so many images with him. This is one of my favourite court families in this deck. I love this.
Louis shoes.
And then the knight is a young Siddhartha Gautama as a child. Queen, stunning. Love it. So earthy, aren't they?
Yeah.
And the king.
Nine diamonds. The king's a bit of an odd one, isn't it?
Yeah.
The image is nice, but when you read what she says about the image, it's I don't know. It was just a bit like, all right, okay, cool.
I find that a lot with the book, though.
Yeah, I guess.
To build kind of like my own sort of relationship with the cards.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So we got through it in, wow, it's 10-2. We've really gone over. Sorry, guys, don't normally for QuaranStream, but yeah. So any final thoughts on the Muriel, Chris?
I still love it. Yeah, no, I just mine's as well loved. Like, I should probably edge mine again. It's like the edging's really starting to, starting to wear off. It's really uneven, and I cut it with scissors and stuff. But it's just, I just love it. So yeah. What about you? Is it a deck that you regularly grab to pull cards from?
No, if I'm honest, even though I've got, like I say, 4 versions of it, it's a beautiful deck. I love it, but it's not a deck that I would use to read with spreads. It's a deck that I've used to pull a card, probably a card of the day, or a card just to sit with and study the image, and but I think. And again, Elle says it best in her video when she did it about if you come to this deck with an RWS in mind and you pull a card and you automatically see, I think she used the example of 10 of swords or something like that. She's like, you're going to get confused, and that is it. You just have to put what you know out and work with it as it is.
Yeah.
All right, so a card for the weekend. Oh, what do you know about karma, Chris?
Gosh.
So we have karma, guys. I guess the first thing comes to mind is leave it to karma. You don't have to worry. You don't have to hold on to things. There is a law in this universe that I believe. If I believe in one thing above anything else, it's the law of cause and effect. What you put out comes back. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And if you want good effects, then obviously you've got to make good causes. And that's what karma is, essentially. People often talk about karma is fixed and is unchangeable, and that's not actually true. Karma is fixed up until this present moment. So we only ever exist in a present moment. So yes, it's unchangeable in terms of whatever you've put out there will come back. But remember, that from this point forward, you are in control. From the present moment forward, you are in control of karma. So it's not that karma controls you. It's controlling past actions, but you've got a choice from this present moment. So don't waste energies on worry. Don't waste energies on wanting revenge. You know, just know that the universe is a fair and just place. It may not always feel like it, but eventually everything meters out. So anything you want to say about karma?
What I do want to say is, Jen, I believe we requested a picture from you with those scales, and you were going to source a sword because justice was the card of the week. And the karma cards with scales on it, it's Libra scales, just reminds me of that. So get on it, Jen.
And as I said, Jen, you can hold a little sword close to the camera and it can feel like a mighty big sword. So, yeah. Chris, thank you for joining me for our Friday kind of catch up. It's been lovely to have you on again.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, sorry we had to kind of rush through the Mary Owl. Yeah, I don't feel like we've really done it justice, but you know, it's deck of the day is just, you know, just having a quick look at an old familiar deck. So thank you for doing that with me. Thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you to the mods. It's been lovely to see everyone. I'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. for Cup of Catch Up and Cards. So hopefully I'll be able to see you then. And then I'll be back on Monday for the final week of QuaranStream. Wow. So unless I decide to go to 100, depends how much pressure I'm under. But yeah, lovely to see anybody. Any last words, Chris?
No, just thank you so much to everyone for being here. And again, thank you, Simon, for having me. And thanks for letting me geek out on the Mary L, which is something that I'm always happy to do.
You're welcome. And thank you for suggesting it. It's been lovely to pick it up again and have a look at it. So, yeah. All right, everyone. Well, have a fantastic Friday. Have a lovely weekend. Until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.